we're recording this from now, and I apologize. I did read the names for the Shosuke Hoyo for January, but today we're also celebrating this Honko service. So I'd like to do a adoration reading. So reverently, we come before the shrine of the Amida Buddha, the Holy One, the Perfect One. And we're here for today's Shosuke Hoyo service for January and for Honko in memory of Shinon Shonin. So with gratitude, we have brought our offerings of love and devotion. We earnestly resolve to strive to understand the holy teachings and to walk every day in the blessed path so that we may attain peace in nirvana. Please join in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Next, we'll have this chanting of Sutra Jusege. And so we'll try to have this online, and it'll be on the internet. So I hope all of you can see that. Please put your thumbs up and make sure that you can see the Jusege, the words for the Jusege. Can I see a thumbs up? You can't see it? Okay, thumbs up. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, Dennis, this is on page 109. Thank you. All right, so here's our chanting for Jusege. Please join Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Gagon Chosegan Hishimu Jodo Shigan Fumanzok Seifu Joshogak Gashiwa Omuryoko Fui Dai Seishu Fusai Shobingu Seifu Joshogak Gashi Jobutsuro Myosho Chojipo Kukyo Mishomon Seifu Joshogak Ryokujin Shonen Joe Shubongyo Shigumu Jodo Isho Teninshi Jinriki Endaiko Ushomu Saido Shoujo Sankumyo Kosai Shuyakunan Kaihi Chi Egen Meshi Komo An Eisoku Sho Akudo Sudatsu Zenshu Mon Koso Jo Manzok Ioro Jipo Ichigatsu Shujuki Tenko Onfugen Ishu Kaihozo Kose Kurokuho Jo Dai Shuchu Seppo Shishiku Kuyo Issai Butsu Gusoku Shu Tokuhon Kanne Shisujo Man Tokui Sangai O Nyobutsu Mugechi Sudatsu Mifusho Gangaku Erik Tochi Saisho Son Shigan Yakoka Daisen Okando Koku Shotenin Hou Shimyoke Namandabu 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 아니시크도크 요도세 이사이 도혼보 다이신 오조의 So let's put our hands together in Gasho. This is from a reading from the Hymns of the Pure Land Master, written by Shinan Shonin. The name of the Buddha of unhindered light, and the light that is the embodiment of wisdom, dispel the darkness of the long night of ignorance, and fulfill the aspirations of all sentient beings. Please join me, Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Namandaps.
Namandaps. Namandaps. Namandaps. So good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year. And I hope that the year 2022 will be good for everybody. And I want to thank all of you for your support of the temple. I was hoping that we could all meet together in person, but because of the spike of the coronavirus, it's better that we meet together online through Zoom. So I want to thank all of you who are able to join today for this service. So today, we're here to commemorate our January Shosuki Hoyo. So this is the time that we honor our loved ones who passed away during this month of January. And also, we are observing Hoonko. So Hoonko is the memorial service in memory of Shinan Shonin, who is the picture right in back of me. And so Shinan Shonin passed away on January 16th in the year 1263. So when he passed away, he was 90 years old. So he lived a very long and good life. And I think because of what he lived a long time, in his later years, he wrote quite a bit about his thoughts about the Buddhist teachings. And so because of that, we have so many of his writings and the hymns that he wrote, like the one I read just at the beginning of this Dharma talk. He wrote all that when he was in his 70s and 80s. So he really had a very sharp mind up until the end of his life. So we're very thankful for all the writings, all the teachings that he gave us for this service. So the reason why we have so much gratitude to Shinan Shonin is because he taught about the wisdom and compassion of the Amida Buddha. So we follow in his footsteps, and through the Nembutsu, by saying Namo Amida Butsu, we transcend ourselves from this world of suffering. So as humans, we all have many delusions and cravings. We all suffer from gas. So gas is the acronym for greed, anger, and stupidity. But we all gain salvation only through Amida Buddha's boundless wisdom and compassion. So this boundless wisdom and compassion is the embodiment of what we call the Nembutsu, of saying Namo Amida Butsu. So the word Nembutsu, when we look at the Chinese characters, the kanji, it means to have our mind on the Amida Buddha. To have our mind on the Amida Buddha. So this Nembutsu gives us the merit to go to the Pure Land. So merit means to perform good deeds. So we're saying we're creating good deeds by saying Namo Amida Butsu. But Shinan Shonin thought that we don't need to perform many good deeds to show our faith in Amida Buddha. The Nembutsu, saying Namo Amida Butsu, is made through the meritorious deeds made by Amida Buddha. So Amida Buddha, he already made the promise for us that when we sincerely take refuge in Amida Buddha, we will be delivered to the Pure Land. So this teaching from Shinran Shonin, we also say this is called other power, or tariki in Japanese. So to say the Nembutsu is possible for our deliverance from this world of delusion and to enter the Pure Land. So this concept of tariki, the other power, is very different from other Buddhist doctrine. It's very unique to our tradition of Pure Land Buddhism. So it teaches us that we can free ourselves from this world of suffering and impermanence through the efforts of ourselves. So when we try to do it by ourselves, this is called self-power or jiriki. So Shinran Shonin thought that we are now in the age of Mappo. So Mappo means the last Dharma age, the last Dharma age. So this means that we're in a period of decline in understanding the Buddhist teachings. So it's been over 2,000 years since the passing of the historical Shakyamuni Buddha in India. So we're in a period where we have the Buddhist teachings and we have the books on the teachings, but no one knows how to practice and them properly and to attain enlightenment, to become the Buddha. So Shinran Shonin thought that he could not practice the teachings properly, and he needed to look deeply within himself. And he realized that in his daily life, his thoughts would wander, and he sometimes thought impure thoughts. And he felt that it was impossible to think purely good deeds and to gain good merit. So in the sutras that we chant, it's taught that there is the Dharmakara Bodhisattva. And in the story, in the sutras, the meritorious deeds that he is able to practice and to help other people, he finally becomes the Amida Buddha. So when the Dharmakara, so Bodhisattva attains Buddhahood, we say that he becomes the pure white lotus. He becomes the Amida Buddha. So Shinran Shonin, he thought that he as a human being could not compare his long practice and many good deeds that Dharmakara Bodhisattva was able to practice. So although Shinran Shonin, he was a great person and he practiced very hard to understand the Buddhist teachings, he felt that he could not compare himself to the diligence of the Dharmakara Bodhisattva. And so Shinran Shonin became very discouraged in his practice. But at the age of 29, he encountered the teachings from a great teacher named Master Honen. And so through Master Honen, Shinran Shonin became his disciple. And this transformed the life of Shinran Shonin, because Master Honen taught that to just have faith in Amida Buddha and recite the Nembutsu with sincerity was all we needed to do to enter the Pure Land. So then the question becomes, how can we apply the Nembutsu to our own problems in daily life? How can we apply the Nembutsu, say Namo Amida Butsu, to our problems in daily life. So when I think about this, I think about what happened to me a couple of years ago. So I was attending my daughter's track meet in Mesa, Arizona. And as she was practicing and running, I was walking around the track, and somehow I tripped and fell, and I fell really hard onto the concrete. And when I got up, I could not walk. And later on, I found out that I broke my kneecap. And so my wife, she took me to urgent care, and the doctors put me into a brace for my knee. And so it took about a couple of months for my kneecap to heal. And later I had to go through rehabilitation. And so I discovered during that time that there's a lot you cannot do when you have a broken kneecap. And you cannot bend down to pick up things on the floor if you drop something. And then I had to be on crutches. So being on crutches, you cannot walk around easily with your crutches. It's very difficult. And so I had to rely on my wife, on my daughter, on friends to do the simple things around the house. And so to move freely without your knees is very difficult, I found. So when I reflect upon my accident, and when I'm able to rock around as I do now, I realize that I am really, truly grateful for my wife and for my daughter for helping me around the house, and that I cannot rely on myself, especially when I have a broken kneecap, when I cannot do things easily by myself. So when I reflect upon the Buddhist teachings, I am also grateful to the Amida Buddha. So through the Nembutsu, through saying Namo Amida Butsu, I am thankful to Amida Buddha that I'm able to live the life that I have, even though I have a broken kneecap. And through the Nembutsu, I realized that I cannot rely on my own power. I cannot rely on myself when I have a broken knee. So I found out that the meaning of the Buddhist teachings is to accept things as they are. And by accepting the life that I have gratitude for the people around me, my family and my friends, my sisters, who all helped me when I was injured. And so this acceptance of things as they are, they may appear to be a passive attitude towards life. But I don't think so. I think that because we have the Nembutsu in our life, we realize that we cannot escape our problems, and that we may gain the courage to face them head on. And with the Nembutsu, we are able to accept things as they are, and that we have the power of being able to get through this life through gratitude. This gives us the wisdom to be humble. So in my reading of the hymns written by Shinran Shonin, we see that the Nembutsu, Amida's light, it brightens up the darkest corners of our mind. It brightens the darkness of our ignorance. And so the light of wisdom teaches us the truth and to understand the impermanence of this life that we have. And to see this truth helps us in our wish to go to the Pure Land. The Pure Land is this land of peace, of bliss, of total enlightenment for us to become Buddhas. So as long as we are able to embrace the Amida Buddha through the Nembutsu, through this power of Amida Buddha, the other power, we accept who we are, and the wisdom of accepting who we are allows us to be grateful, to be humble. And this allows us to have a happier life and gives us strength to face tomorrow. So let's remember this meaning of the Nembutsu and the power of acceptance for this Honko and for this Shotsuki Hoyo service. So let's also remember our loved ones and to honor them for this Shotsuki Hoyo. And let's remember our gratitude to Shinan Shonin. So in closing, I'd like to read the hymns of the Pure Land from Shinan Shonin. So let's pray hands together in Gasho. The name of the Buddha of unhindered light, and the light that is embodiment of wisdom, dispels the darkness of the long night of ignorance and fulfills the aspiration of all sentient beings. Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandaps. 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 So I want to thank you for joining me today for this service. So in closing, I'd like to go ahead and read from the Threefold Refuge. So this is the reading for the Threefold Refuge. So if you're, I don't have the PowerPoint for that, but I hope that perhaps you remember what we say for the three treasures. So difficult is to receive a human form. Now we are living it. Difficult is to hear the Dharma of the Buddha. Now we hear it. If we do not cross over to the truth in the present life, in what life shall we cross over? Let us with sincerity and true reverence take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we together, with all sentient beings, awaken to the great way of enlightenment and to the unsurpassed intent of Amida Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we together, with all sentient beings, enter the storehouse of the Dharma and become the wisdom ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we together, with all sentient beings, become unison in true accord, in harmony with all things. The peerless, profound, and wondrous Dharma is rare to encounter, even in many hundreds of thousands of kalpas. Now we are privileged to hear and receive it. Let's thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So, I'm again thanking you for joining us today. And this concludes our service. So please have a good day. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you, Sensei.
Take care, Sensei.